here. Oh. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited that all of you are here. My name is Elizabeth Larson. I am the head of coaching and training now for Nowsite. And this is a very special moment for all of us. And it's special because of the beautiful marriage of Nowsite and contact mapping together. We have formed some beautiful things for you that you're going to see over the weekend, which are absolutely incredible. However, one of the first things I want to do is talk to you tonight about what we're going to be talking about in our boot camp. So today is about building relationships. And really, there's nothing more special than something like this right here to show about building relationships. Because some of you traveled from a really far place. I mean, there's Germany, so many different, Toronto. I've been meeting so many of you here today, and you've traveled because of relationships. And relationships are one of the most important things to build your life and to build your business. It's something that is closest to our heart in everything that we do and what we're going to be doing here. So what I want to do first, before we get started on our boot camp, is I want to introduce our founder and CEO, Justin, right here, who is actually as tall as I thought he was going to be. My exact expectations. Here's the thing that I want you to remember throughout all of this. We're going to give you the tools, we're going to give you the systems, but we're also going to give you the heart to change your life and to change your business and to create everything that you want. So give it up for Justin.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, this is great, right? All these real people. Probably the biggest technical. I want to say something, just kind of kick things off with something that's maybe a little bit weird coming from me as the biggest technical. And by the way, these guys are gonna do a great presentation. I just want to get out of their way. So but here's the thing, like, over the last, whatever, 10, 20 years, the personal computer, the internet, mobile technology, artificial intelligence, social media, right? Like all of these things that have come into our lives and become part of our lives, you would think that relationships would become less important, right? That technology would kind of take over. And I want you all to hear this from me, that is absolutely not true. Like, it is emphatically not true. Like, that is wrong. And the reason why that is the case is because as we do get separated and isolated by technology, as we experienced during COVID, we find ourselves craving this even more, right? Being with real people even more. It becomes even more important that we focus on relationships. And even when it comes to technology, what you're going to see over the next, I think, probably 5 or 10 years as AI becomes part of daily life is that the barriers to creating new technology are going to get lower, right? Like software companies that would have taken a year in the past will be, at the same place in a week. It's going to accelerate at a unbelievable pace. That is definitely going to happen. But the irony of that, of the accelerating pace of technology, is that the technology itself becomes less of a barrier, because anyone soon, all of us, will be able to write code, right? Like the better AI gets, the easier it is for all of us to create new technology. Technology becomes less and less of a barrier. You don't need the startup costs. You don't need to hire a giant team. You have an idea, Knock, you could write the code and it could be live, in the App Store tomorrow. Like that is absolutely where we're going. So the irony of the advancement of technology is that what is going to matter even more in the future is your brand, your company's brand, your personal brand, right? The relationships you have, the strength of your community, those things, those fundamentally human things are going to become even more important the better technology becomes. So you're in the right place.
The next person I want to introduce to all of you who are online, I know every one of you here know this incredible woman. But all of you online, I think you know her too. She is the woman who needs no introduction. Yeah. So Cheryl has been pivotal in this entire event, in coordinating this event and just putting everything together. She is the backbone of Nowsite. I have seen her work tirelessly on things and it just blows me away the heart and soul that she has put into this. With all of that, I want to introduce you to the VP of Marketing, Cheryl Coco.
Thank you so much for such a sweet and nice introduction. It's so nice to be here and actually see everybody in person once again. Can you believe it? I love you back. Look, I'm excited for everything that we have planned this weekend, but nothing excites me more than the people in this room. Nothing excites me more than the people that are online watching right now. And when I look out into the room, it becomes memories to me. Like, not, we know we can laugh because we're about to put Kim Mulatto in the waiting room, right? Right after, Kim. We have Brigitte from Germany, who I love dearly, and all I can think of is, I love your courses. And so amazing here. Of course, we have Erwin, who will be recording and sharing with everybody all the way from Germany. We have Monica, Carl Scott, so great to see you. Michael Pendleton, he was knitting before he came up here. Mo, it's so wonderful to see you in person once again, and you touch my heart, and every single person that's here. Leanne, you're just as beautiful in person. I can't. Being a part of Nowsite has meant so much to me over the years, and it all comes back to every single one of you in the room. You're in my dreams, you're in my sleep, you're in my conversations with my children. My children know who Michael Pendleton is. My children know who Knock is, right? And that means the world to me. So thank you for being a part of my life and allowing me to be a part of yours.
So let's talk about this for a minute. What is this today? Today is building real relationships. Adrian's running slides, so it's a good thing that I'm not trying to do both things because I can't do two things at once. So we're building real relationships. Today's day 5 of our boot camp. You're going to start, because of the branding, because of this branding boot camp, you are going to start getting a lot more engagement on your social media. You're going to start getting a lot more engagement through your websites. Here's the thing. Now is the next key. And the next key, when you have that engagement, is building real relationships. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the BLTSs.
Yeah.
And there's no better person or people to talk about the BLTSs than the ones that I learned them from. See, I'm actually not the person who developed this. I embraced it in every part of my life. I live this to the core. It is every part of my being. But the people who developed the BLTSs are these two amazing gentlemen here and that beautiful woman right there. And they're going to start telling you about how to use the BLTSs to actually start changing that engagement from just engagement, just a message, just a brief conversation, to a real relationships that move the needle in the things that you're doing. Adrian, all you. Oh, first, let me do this. This man right here has been a mentor of mine for 4 years. This is Adrian Chenault. He was the CEO of our company that merged with Nowsite, Contact Napping. Adrian is the person who helped raise me up along with that woman and with this woman. He is an incredible.
Secrets.
Make a mistake sometime, but Adrian has worked in a way that has shown me how not only to be a better human being, how to be a leader, but how to love people when I couldn't before. Thank you.
The BLTSs, the acronym actually came out of our community, and I love it because I love BLT sandwiches, bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. So good, right? What's not to love? What's not to love here? But as you can see on the slides, for those of you online, and this is our TV did not have a cable connected to it, so so belong, love, trust, and safe is what the BLT stands for. And my dad, who will share more on this in just a second, has lived an entire life and built an entire career through the true power of building relationships that last a lifetime, that open new opportunities, that often are life and death. And those relationships are the key to anything that you want in your life. They're the key to building the business that you dream of. They are the key to living a life that you truly enjoy and that brings you joy when you build that business that you've dreamt of. They're the key to the contribution that you want to have in the world that's going to give you that ultimate satisfaction, because in having those BLTs with the people around you, you are contributing into their lives and creating success for them as you create success for yourself. And what could be better than that? That's what it's all about. And so when we talk about belonging, people need to know, they need to be able to feel that they are a part of something that matters when they're a part of what you do. When we talk about love, the love that I think most about is the love that is other-centered, right? When we love someone, the way I love my children, the way I love my wife, the people who I truly love, I desire their good even more than I desire my own. And so that is the love that we show that creates that bond. Trust is built as we demonstrate that we do what we say we will do. And that when inevitably we make a mistake, that we own that mistake and we pull it back and we make sure that that relationship is restored. And safety is ultimately about allowing that space for the other people around you to be able to bring their messiness into the conversation and know that you can handle it, that you can hold it. Dad, do you want to add anything to that?
No.
Well,
Nailed it, apparently.
well, one thing that we talk about with the BLTSs is another thing that we talk about is what we call a coffee shop interview. It's a way of learning about people so you can actually build those BLTSs with them. With that, the person who actually made the coffee shop interview, who just said no, will tell us about the coffee shop interview.
Yeah. So here's the deal. What you love most about me is what I remember about you. And that's just literally anybody. And everybody's playing this game and trying to be that slickest, hippest, coolest person in the room. And that's just not us. And we built a company built on relationships and decided to build an app around that. And we figured out quite quickly that there were really smart people better than that at us. Well, Justin. So at the end of the day, we were quite jealous of Justin for many, many years and just watched him like a hawk. And he says he's a nerd, but he looks like Tom Cruise. So very, very tough. Competing with the movie star and the mouth from New Jersey. So we are like against the ropes. So we said, we've got to figure out a way to partner with these people because we believe that their tech needed stickiness And we believed that our stickiness needed tech. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
So we got married and it's been a really, really, really good relationship. But my entire career has been on remembering things about people that no one else remembers about them, and reminding them on a very consistent basis that I'm like the only person in the world that remembers that you got kicked out of school for picking your nose. And so it happens all the time. So we did this coffee shop interview, and we designed it for us to be able to really, in a short amount of time, authentically interview people. And my wife right there, she wanted to call it the coffee shop conversation because it was touchy feely and she's a little Oprah-like. I want to call it the coffee shop interrogation. I want to know what makes you tick. And I'm a closet introvert. And I know that if I walk in a room, I'm going to be standing against the wall and somebody's going to walk up and I'm going to start talking to them.
Yeah.
Like my buddy, Uma, how do you say your name? Una. So I talked to her for a couple seconds, and in a very short amount of time, I found out she's got 2 kids. She's got 5 grandkids. She's been a six-figure earner in network marketing. She's got a why that I'm not going to tell you that is bigger than life. And I know how to get her there from here. She loves those kids. She loves those grandkids. She's got a plan to change the world because that's what she wants to do. So all of that. So I took a picture. And I took a terrible picture of her because I didn't care about the picture. I cared about everything going on because it tells me subconsciously where I met her. Because when I run into her again, I am going to have the chance to say, okay, who is she? And all of a sudden I'm going to remember the 2 companies she's in, or something's going to trigger my mind, and I can Google my brain, look her up in my phone, and the next thing you know, her picture pops up and I've got her, which is really, really great. Because I know what moves her. So I interviewed her. I documented. So as soon as I walked away, because I knew I was going to forget everything about her, I documented that into my phone. I said everything I knew about her, because I'm telling you, she lives in San Diego, but my mind is going, does she really live in San Diego? Because you forget so fast. You're all here right now trying to remember names. You're not going to remember anybody. But so anytime you really love anybody, you take their picture, then you go in the bathroom and you brain dump it back in. And then you save it and the button comes up and it said, when are you going to follow her up? And never is not an answer. So then she goes into something called a rotation of remember. And in a week, I'm going to say, it was really, really nice to meet you. And she's going to go, who's this? I'm going to say, Tom Chanel. And how's it going out there in California? She's going, oh, and then I'm going to say, how are those grandkids? And I'm going to constantly remind her, I remember, and I'm going to ask her how she's doing, something about her, and what can I do to make her life better? And pretty quick, she's going to say, oh man, I got a sore toe. And I go, great. Now I'm going to give her my sore toe remedy, or I want to make more money, or whatever it might be. Because my job is that my agenda has to be your agenda, not mine. And my job is to have her knowing full well that my eyes are popping open at 2 o'clock in the morning, thinking about her problems. So now we've got the tech to be able to do that. We can absolutely do personality profiles. We have speeded from about 5 miles an hour up to 1,000 miles an hour because of Nowsite. And we are so happy to be here because we got the interview in place. We've got the rotation in place. We are the best people in the world because we're actually treating people like human beings instead of prospects. And we're serving, not selling. And we're enrolling people into a possibility of having a greater life instead of some stupid transactional conversation where we're selling a tow repair kit. So, we're not going to do that. We are about the human being in serving. And so we're the happiest guys in the world. We're home because the heavy lifting for us was what you guys are so great at. But the heavy lifting for you is what we're great at. And we're going to help you and take you to another level. Hey, Big, how are you, Dream Big? At the end of the day, a guy like me, I'm a closet introvert, but I'm surrounded by people because I'm the guy that knows them all. And it isn't about being the best looking or the youngest or anything else. It's the best. The person who loves the most wins. Fire your brain, hire your heart. Love like crazy, then love more. And the more people you serve, the more people you save. And that's all it boils down to. And I've already talked too long. Thank you.
All right, so you all didn't think you were getting off the hook without doing any work just because we're all here in a room or because we're doing this a little different panel style, did you? You got homework. So I already showed the slide to the folks online at brandme.bootcamp.com. All of you now have access to download the coffee shop interview, a copy of the book that he was talking about that's going to show you how to have these simple conversations in a very powerful way. Don't worry, book is the wrong spelling of pamphlet in this case, so it's not going to take you that long to read this thing. So you've got a free download to go and do that. In your activity, those of you who are in the room, you have a very target-rich environment, and all of you who are watching online, you've got plenty of people to talk to as well. Your job is, unless it is prohibitively late at night, today you are going to do maybe your first ever coffee shop interview. You are going to interview somebody here with us tonight, somebody in your life, somebody who you care about. I'm going to flip it around because they can't hear me. And you are going to learn that person's story and you're going to document it. So don't sleep on that, literally or figuratively. Start doing that today. And that is your first activity. And I'm going to hand it back to you.
No, I want to say something about that.
I thought you were done.
Oh, okay. Your goal in this interview is to not interview anyone. Your goal is to have those people that you meet feel better having met you because you were actually interested in them instead of interesting, and have them leave feeling better about their life having met you than when they got there. That's the success. And if you do that, you're going to win and you pass the test, right?
Exactly.
Amen.
And here's the thing I want you to know. There's a real life application of this that's already happened. A long time ago, I met this man and that beautiful woman over there, and they put me on a rotation of remember. Tom put me on a rotation of remember for like 2 years. I ended up having to close my business. And when I did, I had to make some pretty big decisions of what I was going to do. I saw him at an Eric Worre event. And at the end of the event, I walked up to him, had the guts to walk up to him and ask him if I could have a cup of coffee with him and sit down and have a conversation real quick because of the rotation of remember. That is how powerful that small little text message, that small little message, that small little thing is. It's huge. That ultimately changed my life, brought me to contact mapping, which ultimately brought me to Nowsite. These rotations will change your business and they'll change your life. And they're one of the best things that have ever happened to me.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I want you to, we're going to put them to work on some rotations of remember. And as the creator of the rotation of remember, you need to tell them what that is.
Okay, so can I borrow $500, sir? Speaks German.
Just say 9.
You wouldn't give me $500. Some random stranger walks up and gets you. No way. No way. But if I've had you on a rotation of remember, I'm your terror. You know, I haven't had a drink, by the way, in 35 years, but I was the black sheep. I was the guy that was going to call you up and say, I need new tires for my car so I could buy booze.
Right.
So my relatives wouldn't give me $1, much less 50 or 100. So they just, you know, all I wanted to do was take. So now I've got this rotation and remember where the app, the Nowsite app, reminds me, designed by me, whenever I want, every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever it is, just to call and say something nice. That's all I got to do, say something nice. So I'm still locked into their subconscious for that day that they come back to me and say, I need something or I need something. Because now I'm familiar with them And it's not some random stranger calling and asking for money or a favor. I've got a relationship with you. And that's all that we have to do. And we're going to teach you that. And so all day long, I got 16,000 people in my phone. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I know who likes me, and yeah, that's a lot. But I'm telling you, I have got a handle on my database. My database does not own me. I own my database all through the rotation and remember.
Yep.
We fell in love with this guy from Harvard. We fell in love with his 3 boys. We fell in love with his life in Canada and who he is as a human being. That's what happened. And when I met him, I knew he was important, but there was nothing we could do that day. But because there was nothing we could do that day, did not end the relationship that started it. And finally, that day came when we were driving down in the road and we're having a conversation and he's going, I'm looking for an answer. And I said, let's call Justin. And I called Justin and he did not say, who's Tom Chenault? He said, hi, Tom, because I'd been bugging him forever. So we were familiar, we were friends. And finally God, believe it or not, it was the perfect time. So it was exactly supposed to happen when it did versus the normal people who are always trying, my wife hates this term, to push the pig through the python snake. No, do not push the pig through the python snake. What you want to do is be there when the opportunity is perfect and it's a win-win for both sides.
Yep.
And that's what the rotation and remember does.
Ex-
Was that so? Is that
That's
okay?
Perfect.
That's perfect.
So today is your chance to start applying the rotation of remember as well. And so you'll find this in the activity book. You can start doing this here again tonight. Your activity is to think of 5 people in your life, whether they're prospects, whether they're people that you care about, whether they're people who are in your organization, whatever that may look like. You're going to make a list of the first 5 people that you want to put on a rotation of remember. And so you're going to simply write their names down. You're going to establish how often you want to keep in touch with each one of those people. So is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it once a quarter, right? I use each of those frequencies strategically for different types of relationships in my life, where for some, once a quarter is perfect, right? I don't need to talk to them all the time, but I want to maintain that relationship. For others, it needs to be more frequent than that. So write down the 5 names, set the frequency, and then for those 5, create a calendar reminder for yourself in your phone so that you start these rotations of remember. And what's really exciting is that as contact mapping comes into Nowsite in the coming days, that functionality is going to be built in, and you're going to have that available to you for every contact in your contact database inside of Nowsite, in your Nowsite app. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to start that process now.
And when you start calling your relatives and your brothers and your sisters and your parents, and you're just calling them because you love them, and you're saying something nice without saying anything other than I love you, they're gonna think you're drunk. They're not gonna believe it because that's not the way you roll. I'll never forget these people named the Atchisons were great friends of my mom and dad. And I just happened to think about them. I called them up and I said, Harry, Sally, how are you? And I just talked to them, and they're so used to me selling stuff to them. They called my sister and they said, Steph, what's wrong with Tommy? Why? He called up. He didn't ask to sell us anything, borrow anything. All he did was call and say he loved us. He must be drinking. And then Sally said, no, I thought he needed bail money. The fact of the matter is, you're going to shock people because you're going to love instead of have an agenda, and everything's going to shift in your relationships, your children, everybody. Now, I want to stand up, Denise. Yes. So this is my wife. I am a busy guy. A busy guy. And like most busy husbands, the first person you look past is your wife. But Denise is on a rotation and remember daily. So every morning I get up and I say something kind And remind that she's the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
And can I tell you that I also read minds? You want me to read your mind right now? Want me to tell you what you're all thinking? How did he get her? So, yeah, just do it. Your kids will flip out. Everybody's gonna, you learn this, the party's over, I promise. So that's that.
So again, I'm so excited that we're all here and we're going to have an amazing event this weekend. We've got some incredible things planned for you.
Good job, Denise. Thank you.
We have some incredible things planned for you this weekend. And, for the boot camp, seriously, I know a couple of you have said, hey, I'm doing this and I'm excited. Finish it through. Do the work. Because I promise you, if you do the work, the success that he has had, the success that he has had, the success that so many of us have had in here, you're going to have as well. This rotation of remember, as I said, he talks about real relationships. It changed my life. It's the only reason I'm here. I would have never had the guts to walk up to this man and ask him if I could actually sit down for coffee. At that end, we went to the Paris Hotel, sat down there. We had a real conversation. He even texted Jordan Adler and said, hey, can you wait 20 minutes? I got to meet with a woman. That's how real this is. And it changed my life. And it will change the life of all the people that you are in touch with, that you're building with, that you're creating those relationships with. And it's going to change your business too. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here tonight. Let's have some fun together this week.
All right, hey, onliners, you all are amazing. We want to show you. So everybody give a big wave to all of our friends online. All right, so fun. Thank you all for being here online tonight. It was so great to have you join us. We are back on Monday at our normal time, 12 Eastern time. And it is going to be major, major fireworks. So make sure you're there, invite somebody to come and join you, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got it? Can you end it?